I believe we have Attorney General Ken Paxton on the line. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Good morning.
So, Attorney General, what, if anything, have you or your office been told about the investigation going on right now?
Well, I mean, we've been told a lot. The challenge for us is obviously law enforcement isn't going to disclose everything that they know. So, you know, it's what's out in the media is what's out in the media.
Okay, and I know you're very careful with your words, and so is APD Interim Chief Manley, but give our viewers some background explanation on that, on why you're so careful, because these are details that you want to keep secret. Why? If there's a public safety issue out there.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we want people to know what they need to know to protect themselves, but at the same time, when you're doing an investigation, you don't want to disclose information that would help the bomber avoid getting caught or any way impede the investigation. And so, you know, they're very careful, very strategic about what we're willing to release. And in the end, public safety is the primary concern, not necessarily getting all the information out.
And then also this would help with the prosecution of the individual as well, right? To make sure that you don't put all the information out there, because when it comes to interrogation tactics and prosecution, you want to make sure that you don't jeopardize it.
No, absolutely. And so, you know, there would be things that the actual bomber would know that nobody else would know if it wasn't disclosed to the public. And so that can actually be useful in actually determining that we've got the right person. So, yeah, it's very important that we're strategic in what we allow to be released.
Well, then let me ask you this. Do you have specific fingerprints, trademarks, or a person of interest that you're honing in on?
So I can say this. I think, obviously, you know, I think it's obvious that this person, it is the same person doing this, that this is a serial bomb guy, and that all I can say is that they are looking at the different bombs in Quantico, Virginia, that they're trying to tie together the victims to figure out if there's some connection between any of these victims. That obviously got more complicated with the tripwire, because that was more random than the initial bombings that seemed to be targeted at individuals. So, you know, there's a lot of information that is confusing, and we'll see what happens.
You said, Attorney General, that your office has been given a lot of information by law enforcement. Without going into specifics, do you get the sense that they're close to finding this person?
So here's what I'd say. So we're on the joint task force in my office. I've spoken to Chief Manley just actually a few minutes ago to get the latest update from him. And obviously they weren't necessarily on the ground in Schertz, but this joint task force keeps each other informed from the approximately 500 officials from the feds, plus, you know, you've got state police. It is a massive effort to find this person and stop them. But no, I would say at this point we don't know who this person is, and we're still putting the pieces together. And part of it is, like in Schertz, they just really were able to get into the building after they made sure that it was secured. But I do believe we've from that particular one, I think we're going to gather more information that will help us.
With that location, the package that exploded in Schertz, was that package bound for Austin? Was it supposed to reach an Austin resident business? What can you tell me?
Yeah, and that is correct. It was mailed from Austin, and it was mailed back to Austin going through the Schertz FedEx distribution center.
Okay, walk me through that process one more time, Attorney General. It was mailed from Austin, which would be the Sunset Valley location?
I don't remember which location. I just know it was mailed from Austin. It was to an Austin resident, and it blew up on the conveyor belt.
The chief of police in San Antonio has said that there was also a second package at that Schertz location that did not detonate. Does that fit with what you've been told?
Yes, that is accurate from what I've been told. Obviously, I'm not on the ground there, but from my people, that is accurate.
And do you know, is that second package the one that has now caused this suspicious package situation here in Austin at the FedEx facility?
I don't know. I do know that what you're talking about is also being looked at. So I don't think there's any information on what you just brought up yet.
What are you most concerned about when you look at just the scope of this investigation? And I'm not talking as the Attorney General. I'm talking as a dad and as a husband and just a concerned resident.
I guess I'm most concerned that you're talking about really innocent people. It could be kids. It could, you know, be elderly. I'm just concerned that, you know, more people are going to get hurt and potentially killed. by somebody who's really crazy.
When we talk about this person who has been sending these explosives, you said he. Did you mean to say he? Do we know if this is a man?
No, it was generic. We don't know whether it's a he or she. That's just the typical profile, is that it's a male. It typically is in these serial bombing cases. So it obviously could be female, but likely male.
You are the top cop, the top law enforcement officer in the state of Texas. When we have these explosives, these investigations, does it put you closer to finding the person responsible, or does it just widen the net of how big this investigation is getting?
Well, in this case, because it's you've got so many federal agents involved, it is complicated because you got so many different pieces to the puzzle. You've got local police, Austin, and now Schertz. You have state police. You have my office. You have ATF, and you have about 400 FBI agents. So it's there's a lot of people involved. There's a lot of moving parts. Obviously, that's good because we want to stop this as soon as we can. But it also creates information lag sometimes in putting it all together and making sure everybody's on the same page.
Do you have a working theory on why this person would mail a package to Schertz and then back to Austin?
The only thing I can say is it appears that it's pretty focused on Austin. Whether obviously went through Schertz, but the direction was back to Austin. And so, even though the bomb blew up south of Austin, nearly in San Antonio, it still appears like the area, the geographic area being covered is still Austin.
Mm. So, the previous explosions we have seen have not gone through any sort of official parcel or mail delivery service. And it seems like if you were to go to FedEx to send something like this, that then creates such another trove of evidence. There could be surveillance cameras in the store that show the person that brought it in. There's tracking of the package. There's all kinds of stuff. For someone in law enforcement, do you get the sense that that indicates that the person responsible thinks that maybe this is coming to an end, that eventually they're going to be caught sooner rather than later?
I don't know what's in this person's head. I don't know if it seems like people that are doing things like this think they will never be caught. But, just as you said, there are surveillance cameras everywhere in our country, and eventually this person's going to make a mistake delivering to a place like this and is going to get caught. And hopefully that's sooner rather than later, especially given the amount of resources we're putting into finding this person.
Do you have an idea of who this package was supposed to be delivered to?
I do not. Well, I don't know if we know that yet, given that it exploded. And so that's certainly something that they're working on determining right now.
But there was some sort of indication on this package that leads you to believe that it was bound for Austin.
Yes, and so, given the fact that there are tracking numbers and FedEx stuff, that's something I think we're likely going to know soon.
Mm-hmm. And that is huge in this investigation, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. So, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to keep doing things like this and not get caught because there are clues, and every incident brings more clues, and the more time we have to develop this, the more likely we are to figure out who it is.
I would assume FedEx, though, has been cooperating in turning over all that information?
Yeah, my understanding is they have completely cooperated. They've been great on this, and so, we certainly appreciate their help in trying to determine who's doing this.
All right.
Attorney General Paxton, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you. So,
confirmed a lot there.
The big confirmation there is that this package was mailed from Austin and through FedEx's processes ended up at the Schertz facility, then was going to go back to Austin, which I'd seen a lot of people on social media were questioning, well, why is that the case? Why would that happen? It's the logistics of the way FedEx operates, one would assume, but the Attorney General confirming that it came from Austin and was destined for Austin, and also confirming what the San Antonio police chief had said, that there was a second package at that Schertz facility that did not detonate.
And perhaps the biggest clue